Hello and welcome to the Crookedrivercast. I am Robert, and that guy way down yonder, that's Tom. And we are two guys from Northeast Ohio just trying to keep track of what's going on in our state. This is show 50, the Big 5-0, for the week of March 2nd, 2026. And yeah, you guessed it, there's some stuff, and let's discuss it. In the morning, good sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. Although I'm a little perturbed at my father right now. He decided to call me last night from Arizona.
On Arizona time.
No, I mean, he doesn't. There is no such thing as Arizona time. There's just time for my dad. At his age, at almost 80, he just calls whenever. He doesn't care, and he forgets. I think I don't think he remembers all the time. And no, that wasn't the problem. The problem was he was complaining. It's because it was 94 yesterday, and it's just too hot for February.
That son of a bitch.
I know. That's what I said. I was like, that's some mean crap you got going on there, Dad. I said, what? How could you do that to your favorite son? He said, "Oh, really?" I just claimed it. Well, it has to be true. Yeah, it's a heat wave. It's going to be 90, 94. Phoenix might hit triple digits.
It's dry heat, though.
But it's a dry heat. I'm
not being sarcastic. Hot is hot.
Hot is, 94. And it's 94 with low humidity. It's not crazy hot. It's not like 94 here, obviously, but
yeah.
But when you're in the sun, it doesn't matter. 94, 84. When you're in the sun in Phoenix or Vegas, it's freaking hot. That sun's blazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I gave him the riot act, and I almost hung up on him. No, I'm just kidding. Wouldn't have done that. He doesn't even. It's not like he's doing it on purpose either. That's the funny thing. He's not trying to. He just said, "Yes, man, it's so hot." I go, "Really?" I go, "Yeah." Still got snow on the ground, It was a warm day yesterday, but not 94.
No, but the end is there.
See the light at the end of the tunnel, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is there. We are in the downside of winter. And let's just hold on for a bit longer, and before you know it, it'll be winter again.
I think it's only like 3 more weeks until spring, right?
Spring, yeah. Yeah, and then we get a really big snowstorm in April.
Hey, it's happened. I got pictures.
Yeah.
April 28th, man. I don't know how many inches we got, but I couldn't get out of my driveway. It was a hefty snowfall. It was gone the next day, but there was a lot.
I think that's when we were in Vegas. Because you had, didn't your dad have trees that broke limbs and stuff like that? I remember we had a big snowstorm in April. We were in Vegas for the big snowstorm. Like, I remember
what were you in Vegas for?
To see my dad.
Oh, okay. Yes, that could have been because I'm going to go back to about 2004.
Yeah.
Because I remember the car that got stuck in the driveway. I couldn't snow blow because the snow was so heavy.
Yeah, it was very wet. Yeah, lines were breaking and limbs were snapping.
Yeah, and it was that was April 28th, man.
It was one of them because it was at the time your sister worked at a law or accounting firm, and we took vacations like just after the tax season. She couldn't take them, for a certain time before them because it's busy season. So we took a lot of our vacations that time in April. It may not have been that one, but there was one that we flew to Vegas and all of a sudden we got hit with this like 6 or 8 inches of super heavy snow. We're like, nice, we're in Vegas, baby. It was 112 here, so or whatever it was.
Yeah, but you're inside a casino, so.
Oh yeah, we're definitely inside a casino and trying to keep my money is what I was doing. No.
Yeah. No, that timeline kind of fits.
Yeah, it fits.
2004. That's before my wife and I got married, and I remember I remember you went to Vegas. I think the next time was like about 5 years later for the conference, right?
Oh yeah, the photography thing. Yep. And then the next one we did a good timing was Sandy. When Sandy came rolling through, Hurricane Sandy.
Well,
we were in Florida.
Well, we were on a cruise, weren't we?
Were you with us that time? That was the cruise?
Yeah.
Okay, that was the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I came back. I was like, we were on the ship. I think I don't know if it happened while we were on the ship or because my wife and I ended up going to Miami for a few days too. So whatever. But I was like, oh man, I hope our house is still there. And we got back, and all I see is like everything was all right on our property. Our house was fine, but man, trees were twisted. They got twisted and pulled out of the ground.
I had our work office. I think that was, so we had no power for like 4 days. Well, nobody had power around it for 4 days. They stayed open. They hand wrote all the tickets for all the orders they were doing. And then once the power got on, they had to hand enter all the tickets into the system. And I'm thinking, damn, that was good freaking timing, man. That was really good timing. They were running off a generator with flashlights to get orders for customers. I was like,
wow.
No, Florida was great, guys. But I think at the time we were worried that it was going to clip Florida. And it pushed off and it went into the East Coast or something. I don't know.
And what the hell were we doing going on a cruise at that time?
I don't know. It's a good question.
That was like February, right?
Cheap. Hurricane season is cheaper.
But it's not hurricane season.
No,
whatever.
Yeah.
Memories get foggy.
Yeah. Oh, yes, definitely. The show might be getting a little bit foggy because it's already 50. The big 5-0 today. This show is the big 5-0.
Almost a year.
Almost as old as me. Almost as old as me. Not really. But, in show years. So we had a busy week as we normally do, but even busier because we had State of the Union. State of the Union. And did you watch it live?
I didn't watch it live. I watched I listened to it the next day.
Yeah. I did not watch it live either. Not sure why. I don't like watching those things live.
Oh, I would have watched it. I'm in bed by that time.
That's the other thing too.
I get up at 4. So.
By the time Trump gets in there and they do all the shenanigans, it's like, I'm starting to doze off on the couch. But I think this one would have kept us awake a little more than usual.
It was good.
I mean, where does he get the energy? My gosh, he was screaming.
What was it, an hour and 46 minutes, right?
He was out shouting the applause. He was overmodulating the mic. I mean, the mic was cutting out on him. He was screaming so loud into it.
They got that dosage better than they had it for Biden.
Well, yes, definitely a high T speech. Let's put it that way. High T speech for sure. So I figured we could start with some of the highlights. And some of the things that people have seen before, probably maybe heard before, and especially this first one. We're gonna, we'll start with the big one, which is the shouting match with Omar.
Oh, that was.
And if you notice, silly. If you watch the video, you notice very early on in that clip or that part of the speech, Johnson gets up from the back, he pulls his mic up, and he's about to interrupt and tell her to shut up, basically. But he never has to because Trump shows him how to handle these low IQ people. So let's see what he has to say. I thought when I was listening to it at first, I thought there was something missing. And, as well, maybe you guys will see, I'll add, I thought maybe we could have a little extra production might have been good. So we'll see what I can do here.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself, not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country. They're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
See, there was something missing. I told you. It does much better that way. I've been waiting to use that sound effects for a while. For a couple weeks. Like, this is a perfect spot. But this is how you handle somebody who's trying to shout you down you just overshout them. And he definitely showed you how to handle low IQ. And I think we can hear from maybe this guy here. This is Rob Schneider, the comedian Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
I saw this clip come through, and I'm like, you know what? This is true. Look how great America is. This is how great America is. They can send even the worst.
Starting to think Somalia is not sending us their best. Yeah. Who is letting their kids be watched by Somalian? Didn't anybody see Captain Phillips, the Tom Hanks movie? They're fucking pirates. We are taking over the ship and the child care center. We're doing both. That's how amazing this country is, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, amazing.
You can come over here from Somalia. You don't even have to be here, legally. You can just marry your brother. What an amazing country. Then you can open up a child care center, a leering center. You don't even have to have kids. It's the best part. You just get the money.
Oh, Omar. Such a fool you are. You're the murderer. You're the murderer. That's what she was saying.
It was good optics for the Republicans.
Yeah, because
you're not going to change the mind of, the far lefties, but the centrist is going to sit there and look at that and go, oh, wait, she's crazy.
And that was right. So he comes up and says, hey, affirm or stand if you agree that the first job of the American government is to protect the people, the citizens of America.
That was awesome.
And nobody said that was after the applause. I mean, like 2 minutes of applause from the Republican side, and there a lot of other places, but up in the rafters and stuff, they have all the people that the president invites and stuff. So, and then he goes into this thing where he's, just complete utter foolishness. I think was how it. But then he comes on. It gets a little bit better. Let's finish the rest of this clip because he goes on to pick on some other people and ask for maybe some common sense legislation.
Let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
This is good.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
Will it pass?
I don't think so.
Hell no, it's not going to pass. But I would really like to see it go up for a vote. Man, I'd like to see it go up for a vote. Just to see who's a yay and who's an A, because that'd be pretty interesting. But how would that even work though? It might even pass because there's no way to really enforce it. You could make it a lot harder.
Yeah, I guess.
If you can't use your name or your kid's name or your cousin or your sister or whoever, if they can't, geez, could you imagine the hardship? Oh, such hardship. Your sister is now a congressperson and you can't invest in anything that she does. I think that's pretty cool, actually. Maybe not, but
no, I don't think
you start
that's
looking
right,
at.
Actually,
I know it's kind of tongue in cheek, but it would kind of impede on some other people. But
it might make them get out of office quicker.
Yeah. Before Biden got in office, I can't remember the book now, but it was basically about this, and it went through both sides, Republicans, Democrats. Mitch McConnell's wife I think he married her, and she owns, or her family owned, a shipping company in China. They do inter-Chinese shipping, like from one port to China, another port, something like that. And this company has grown. The Chinese government's given them loans and bought them or extended loans so they can buy ships, staff the ships with people, this and that. And all this happened right after he got in office. So it goes both sides. But Biden, from according to this book, he's a normal politician has one or two people, usually one person that you can kind of look at and go, they might be. I think they're buying off of what their so and so relative is doing in Congress. Biden had 5. His brother was a big one. I think he got appointed to a major construction company, and then 3 months later or something like that, they got a $1 billion contract to rebuild parts of Iraq.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to pass. There's no way. It's like them not passing a raise for themselves. Like,
well, to be honest, I mean, we bitch about like Democrats, but just as many Republicans are doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's why I picked on Mitch McConnell.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and Nancy Pelosi. Look at her. Look at how much she's worth.
Well, Nancy, but I mean, I'm talking about some of the younger. Dan Crenshaw is like really profiting right now. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, it's both sides. And if you listen to somebody like Massey, I think he was on Tim Pool at one point when it went through. Was it Tom? No, it wasn't Massey. It was the guy who was going to be head of the DOJ.
Gosh darn it.
He's in Florida. Anyway.
He was my favorite congressman.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of his name?
He was on Pool, and he basically Matt Gaetz. Yep. He went through okay, they sit you down as a junior congressperson, and they say, the Republican Party is on one side and the lobbyists on the other. And the Republican Party tells you need to get on these committees, you need to donate to the party X amount. It's literally a shopping list was put in front of him, he says, and said, this committee's this much money, this committee's that much money. He's like, where am I going to get it from? He goes, well, conveniently enough, the guy on your right or the other side of you, he's a lobbyist and he's willing to give you money to get on these committees. And this is how, so a lot of it is, if you want to be a player, you have to play the game. Now, somebody like Massey said, and I think Gaetz was similar. He had, yes, I'm on committees. I went back to my donors and said, if you want me on these committees, you got to give me more money. And a lot of them did. And he needed to get on some committees. But he still had to pay the party. That's the Republican Party. Yep. Democrats are, I would only imagine, just way better at it than the Republicans. But
always.
They're just, So there's that. That bill's never going to pass. But hey, we could always hope. One could always hope.
Nothing's going to pass from now on.
Oh, from here on out, because the midterms, and then after the midterms, depending on what happens, kind of know what's going to happen. But it's probably going to be gridlock for the next couple of years. Yay! In a way, that's okay, but not if you want to. It's just a
bunch of shenanigans.
Shenanigans, you say?
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
I swear. Go on to the next. This might be my favorite clip from the speech, because he speaks the truth, and by the look on his face, he was definitely speaking the truth. I kept a lot of this context in because I want to make sure that people listening, if they haven't heard the actual speech, know what he's talking about and how he laid it out, and then what happened afterwards. After he laid it out, and then the applause came, and who didn't applaud. So think about, when you're listening to this, think about the bill we talked about. Was it last week, I think? Bill
693.
To protect parents from the state taking away your kid if you affirm the kid's sex and not their biological gender, or their biological sex, and not affirm their gender identity. That's kind of the bill we talked about last week. Well, yeah, this is kind of goes to that.
In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy. A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full-ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy.
Yeah.
We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we? Huh?
Yes, he speaks the truth. These people are crazy. Well, New York came out in him when he said that. These people are crazy over here. I mean, that's Boston, but yeah. Oof. I don't know. As a parent, that just infuriates me just a little bit. That's probably my favorite one. He just hit the look on his face as he pointed over there. It was like he was pissed. Like, I can't believe you can even stand for that. Oh my gosh. Surely we can agree, Tom. Surely we can agree. Not surprising though, right? Not surprising.
No, they can't stand for anything. I mean, did they stand for anything that was like, would have been like 99% to 0 to 1%?
No, they didn't even stand for the SAVE Act when he talked about the SAVE Act. That's like an 80-some percent. I think he even says it in the speech. That's like an 83% approval rating amongst.
I'm even talking about like when he awarded people medals and stuff.
Yes.
Did they stand for I didn't watch it, so I just listened to it. But from what I hear, they didn't even stand for the Olympic team.
Some of them did. There was a mix.
Some of them.
Yeah, okay. Some would say. I think some were saying there was about a third or so that didn't stand for the Olympic team.
That's pretty gross, man.
But the sad part really is when they're talking about the illegals or the border stuff. You know, he's talking about a kid who got crushed by a semi, who they didn't think would live or walk, and she's up in the stands with her father, talking about making sure that states like California can't just give illegals driver's license, and they didn't stand for that. Okay.
Yeah.
They don't stand for, but the problem, what some people were noticing is some Democrats were kind of looking around, like almost for, if you're going to stand, I'm going to stand, you know?
Yeah. Some of them do that. And
so they knew, some of them could tell this was not good, but they weren't going to stand because they would get their nose cut off.
The speech was pretty good. And actually the, I guess you could say the optics were even better. The game plan, I guess, was even better. It was just to make them look like absurd people.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. That on a lot of these, it's just they don't care. They just don't care. It's TDS. It's so crazy. Next, let's try I'm going to consider these kind of deep cuts from the speech because I couldn't find a lot of these. You look on YouTube and stuff and you look for Trump's speech and you see a lot of what we just played, the trans part or the heartwarming stuff, the Medal of Honor stuff and the shouting with Omar and stuff. This is like kind of a little bit of meat. There's a little actual policy here. And if somebody says, oh, well, he didn't really talk about much. Well, I think he actually brings up a couple things here that, a couple of wins, maybe some stuff you've heard before, but this is a good chance to tell the American people, maybe some people who don't really pay attention much, what's going on. So deep cuts.
That's why I introduced the great healthcare plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own healthcare, which will be better healthcare at a much lower cost. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere. The lowest price.
Anywhere.
Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community and very substantially down. Last month, I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine.
I kind of like that bill, talking about making the data centers and tech companies build their own power plants, would be huge for Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
It's a major problem we're having here. As everybody's, if you've listened to this show more than a few weeks, you've heard us talk about it, and you've maybe heard about it in the news. And they're showing up everywhere, and they're not necessarily always a good thing.
Never.
But I think we can end it. He ended it very well. I just loved hearing this kind of stuff from somebody who, when they say it, I actually believe that they mean it. Maybe I just bought into all the propaganda, but you could say a lot about Donald Trump. The one thing that infuriates me the most is that he doesn't love America. There's people on the left that like he hates the country, and I'm like, I don't know what in the last 50 years of Trump being in the public eye would make you think that he doesn't like America. He's the most pro-America person, almost to the point where he makes you want to puke it about it.
Well, don't they say that because he doesn't love? They try to lump the immigrants in.
Right. Well, yeah.
I think that's what they're doing most of the time.
I just always attest. I always makes it to me. It's projection. It's just projection because they don't like America.
Yeah. They can't stand it.
Yeah. So let's hear how it ended. I just always good to end it on a positive and kind of bring it back to what really matters.
And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim. For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. The golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Bravo. Nice ending.
Mm-hmm.
So good speech. We agree. We liked the speech. Had some good meat in it. Had some good planning and kind of, make the other side look pretty petty.
I gave it a solid A.
Yeah, solid A. I would say with the energy, I don't know, in the way he kept bringing people in and just bringing in the men's hockey team was awesome. Just having them flood in there. And then, he was so proud. You could tell he was just screaming. He was like, dude, it's almost making it worse because the clip isn't like you're clipping the mic. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. But not everybody liked it, Tom. Not everybody liked it. Unfortunately, we got to burst some bubbles here, and there's some people that had a different outlook on the speech. And let's this man on the street. I think this is the Daily Wire clip from X that I got, and just asking people what they thought about the speech. But maybe there's a kicker at the end. Maybe we can catch it at the end if you can. Here it is.
Rate Trump's State of the Union speech 1 out of 10. 1's the worst, 10's the best.
Negatives.
And why?
I think we all know a lot of reasons.
Yeah. What about the State of the Union last night? 1 to 10.
It was like a 1 or 2. It was all over the place.
Probably just gonna
Gonna give it a 1.
And why do you say 1?
I don't think he's very articulate.
How did Trump do at the State of the Union?
0. I'll be real, I didn't watch it.
0.
I didn't really watch it much. I watched it for a little bit, but
Watch it for a little
the
bit.
State of the Union last night. How was that? 1 to 10.
I didn't know it was last night. I thought it was tomorrow.
No, you're good. You passed the test. Good job.
Did you catch it? Here.
Yeah. It's tomorrow.
Yeah, I cut the beginning off.
Hey. Oh, okay.
College kids are telling us Trump's State of the Union didn't go so well. The only problem, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, there was another one. I think there was another one similar to that.
Oh, tell you the truth, I only watched a little bit.
It didn't have the music on there, which is sometimes a little bit better because you don't know which way it's going.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. I only watched a little bit of it. Oh, that's funny. And not everybody was happy with the speech. Even before he spoke, they didn't like it. It's almost like they've got some disease, mental disorder. So tell us what you think about the speech. Maybe tell us what we missed. Is there any parts that we should be talking about? Let us know what you think about the show. Share the show. Comment on your favorite podcast app and tell everybody how great the show is. And tell your friends. Share the show. Really appreciate it. You listening and send us some feedback. Crookedrivercast.com. You can check out the blog every Monday when the show drops, and then send us a line at crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Tell us about shenanigans in your area for your local government. Give us some boots on the ground reporting. Really help out. And then you could always find us on X. Me love cookie. Try to find me on X if you dare. And appreciate you listening. All right, next, let's click that one. State of the Union. That'd be quite a lengthy one, but there's a lot there. It's pretty good stuff. Next, we've got to go, maybe follow up from last week's story. House, I think it was a House member. Yeah, House Oversight Democrat misspoke about Wexner and his claim that Wexner gave Epstein $1 billion or paid him $1 billion. And you even brought up that doesn't sound right. It was like a lot of money. And I said, well, on that. It is a lot of money, but at 30, 40 years, you think maybe, from the 80s, 45 years, it's, you could, but that's a lot of money. It's definitely a lot of money. Now, he was wrong about giving Epstein $1 billion or paying Epstein $1 billion, but he might be right about some of the rest of the stuff that we were talking about. But here's the clip from them misspoke, and I'll go into a little bit, and maybe we'll hit some points on it because they do kind of shed some light into the deposition or the interview that they did with them. And see what do you have to say? This is from ABC 6, I think, out of Columbus.
The only mention of $1 billion we have found in the deposition was related to stocks Epstein handled.
The report indicates that it was
from the deposition
more than or around $1.3 billion of stock that Epstein moved around that way. Not that he kept all of that money for himself, but the total amount of stock sales was over $1 billion. You have no knowledge or awareness of that.
I don't know the amounts.
Federal prosecutors talked about Epstein's wealth in a 2019 memo released as part of the Epstein files.
Yeah, no kidding.
They wrote virtually all of his money appeared to have come from fees he paid himself for managing Wexner's money, along with money Epstein misappropriated or stole from Wexner. Wexner told the committee he was not sure exactly how much money Epstein took. Through all of this, Wexner has repeatedly said he knew nothing about Epstein's crimes. He told the committee he was duped by a con man.
So why, if Wexner is actively, willingly funding Epstein, why is Epstein stealing from him? I mean, not that he couldn't do that, but that seems to go against what they're saying about Wexner to some extent. But they're prosecutors from back in, what did they say, 2019 or 2014 or something? They're saying that most of Epstein's funding came from Wexner's fees of his money that he was handling. I don't know. Seems like he was one of the ones mainly funding Epstein. Maybe not willingly, but he was handling a bunch of his money, wasn't he?
I don't exactly know what he was doing.
Well, according to the prosecutors, they're saying what they found. Again, I think it was at least 10 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that he was funding most of Epstein. Is he
investing for Wexner? And
yeah. So Wexner, he gave him, that's the $1 billion. That's where the confusion comes. He didn't give him $1 billion. He didn't pay him $1 billion, but he was managing over $1 billion of Wexner's investments. And then he was getting fees on that. And they're saying that was the biggest contributor to Epstein was this investment. Or these investments that he was running, and he was also stealing or misappropriating. Just stealing.
He's probably skimming.
Yeah. Right? Oh, yeah, definitely. That's what we're saying. So I don't know. I kind of And then once he found out, that's kind of when he pulled it in 2007. And they're thinking maybe about $100 million. Was stolen or given or paid in fees or whatever.
Hey, you want to come to Whore Island? I'm going to take a little extra here for you.
Pay. Maybe. Might be. We don't know. I don't, there's no, it might be guilty by association at this point. But I could tell you one thing. I was down in Columbus this week, and I think I counted 6 buildings with Wexner on the side. He's given a lot of money to the.
How much is he worth? I never really heard. I know he's a billionaire. How much is he worth?
It's got to be multiple billion. I mean, if he gave Epstein $1.3 billion to play with, essentially, I would think he's worth multiple billions. And if he's given, it does not say in the that is interesting. It's got to be upwards. Yeah, it doesn't say. Why would you put that in there?
I am checking in with Grok.
Oh, what does Grok have to say? Robot?
Estimated 9 to 11 billion.
Okay, yeah. So, multiple, depending on which way the stocks swing in that day.
Yeah. Forbes has them at 8.8 to 9.1. They're a little bit more. And Bloomberg puts them at 10.8 billion.
Imagine being that rich, Tom. Somebody stole tens of millions of dollars from you, and you're like, yeah, I'm not even sure how much he stole.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
The guy can give away he could give away a couple of billion and not even really feel anything.
Yeah, I mean, he was skimming.
Not that he has that cash. I mean, it's all. I'm sure it's.
Yeah, it's all investments and businesses, and he's got 4 or 5 businesses that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars each.
Right.
That's a big part of it, but I don't know. There's plenty of stuff going on. I'm just not sure what this guy. I don't know. It's hard to. Again, if you're gonna accuse somebody of this, I'm really gonna hope you bring some evidence, because right now there really isn't any. But at least I want to say they're trying to get a hold of the congressperson, but he just doesn't want to talk. He's just going to say, we misspoke. I think they said, I don't think they misspoke. I think they said exactly what they wanted to say. And hoping nobody called them out on it. All right. Enough of that one.
I think that there's a clip of Wexner's attorney leaning over and saying, if you say more than 5 words again, I'm going to fucking kill you myself.
Yep. And the fact that he's willing to talk, I think would show, I don't know, if he had something to hide, I'm not sure he'd be talking, but that is a rosy outlook, I guess. The next story is one I've been looking at from afar, and I think I know why now. This first energy bribery trial is going on. And here's all you need to know. Here's the first thing, not all you need. Here's the first thing you need to know about this trial. It's in week 3, and they expect it to go 5 to 8 more weeks. Wow. Drag it out any longer, lawyers, can you? So First Energy has been in some hot water over the past few years since we talked about in early shows, HB6, because they were in the middle. I think when we started this show, they were in the process of repealing the last little bit. And honestly, one of the reasons can you follow this story?
No.
Yeah, that's part of the issue. I know a lot about it, and I know enough to just confuse the crap out of myself, I think. So First Energy,
it's all over the place. When I read this, it's kind of
it's such a convoluted. There's so many players, so many names. I think
and and a lot of the I think one of these write-ups is basically a smear campaign. If you ask me, I mean, it's just a way to smear Husted, whatever.
Well, if you look at both of these, if you look at the bottom of these, so one's Ohio Capital Journal, and the other one's News 5. So News 5 is, of course, Morgan Chow. And the Ohio Capital Journal is, Morgan.
Yeah. Well, the one article is definitely, she doesn't say anything. I mean, it's just all just negative against Houston, but without any meat.
Yeah, the Channel 5 one is a shorter one. I think that's really there because the clip is interesting to me. I mean, the text messages that they're talking about are pretty damning. Let's hold on. Let's not damning, but they're interesting. They're curious. They make me think. Let's just try it. See if we can break this down to a 30,000 foot view. So, First Energy, this 2019, 2018, maybe they're having problems. They're according to the court records, they're hemorrhaging money, they're bleeding money for whatever reason, and they're looking for an out. They're looking at $150 million loss that year or in the coming year, and they looking for an out. They decided, it seems to me, to try to influence the pick for the regulatory committee that overlooks the utilities in Ohio, the POCU, and they got this guy Randazzo put in. Well, Randazzo was a consultant for companies that work for or with First Energy, along with First Energy. So First Energy knew who he was, and they pushed legislators and the governor to appoint this guy, even though people were pushing it like, there's some conflict of interest here. And they pushed and pushed and pushed. And what ended up, I guess, happening was there's some bribery going on. Now, apparently I've heard a couple of people say that First Energy has basically admitted to the bribery. But in this case, the jurors do not know that, or they have been told that. Whether they know or not, who knows? But they have not been formally told that in the case. But $61 million went to. So now look at. It's interesting that these stories are slightly different in kind of significant ways, like you're saying, but both written by the same person, Morgan. In the one, or in the clip, she says, "Well, we'll hear it. Let's just hear the clip and say it before I go any further." But there's been a bribery going on. They're saying it's like $61 million that went to Householder, who's now serving 20 years. He's 3 years into a 20-year sentence. There's another one that went to prison. I couldn't find his name this morning or yesterday, but he's already out. He had 5 years, and he was out on parole. Who's on trial? Mike Dowling, who was the senior president of First Energy, and Chuck Jones, who was the CEO. They're the ones that were pushing to get Randazzo in as the head of the chair of the regulatory committee, and then he can push for rate increases, or if in some cases if the utility is making more money because of for whatever reason the raw energy went down, or it depends, the regulatory committee will say you have to lower your rates. You can't make excess profits. It's part of the regulatory. So it sounds like that's kind of what they wanted Randazzo to do, was to look away from. He kind of dismissed the judgment that could have lowered the rates, and that way, First Energy would not have made much profits. And then what happens when you don't make as much profit, or if you miss your profit outlook, or your profit, what you claim your profits are going to be that quarter or that year? What usually happens? Your stock price goes down, right?
Yeah. I mean, isn't it your duty to, if you're publicly traded, to meet your profits?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So some of the text messages, one text message I saw, or more than one, but the first one I saw was, I think, Chuck Jones, the CEO, sending Randazzo a text with the picture of the stock price saying, "My mom always taught me to say thank you." As he's got a screenshot of the First Energy stock going up. But when the stock goes up, and if you exceed your numbers and the stock goes up even higher, usually the CEOs, those board members, their compensation is tied to those stock prices. That sound about right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it is their duty, and it's in their financial. It benefits them to have the stock price go up.
Their fiduciary.
It is their fiduciary responsibility, but also it does line their pockets if it goes up even more. So they're saying they paid Randazzo this money because it was a payment for consulting to pay an agreement or a settlement for consulting. And then when they're looking at the consulting agreement and they're saying it was so convoluted, there's nobody can tell how this was actually supposed to go down. And they think it was intentional. Like this consulting agreement with Randazzo was just a jumble of words and mess. It didn't make any sense. It was just kind of there as a placeholder. I think that's kind of a rundown. I don't know. Am I missing anything? So Neil Clark was another. So like 5 people are indicted here, 5 or 6 people. 2 of them already killed themselves. So Randazzo, he pled not guilty, and then a little bit later he committed suicide. Neil Clark is a lobbyist accused of bribery. He died of suicide after pleading guilty, also in 2001. Householder has now been sitting in prison for 2 years of his 20-year sentence.
Are we putting suicide in quotes? Is there any type of weirdness there?
I don't know.
I'm sincerely asking.
I gotcha. I got what you're saying. I don't know. They are blaming Randazzo for everything. So
yeah,
are we at that level? I'm not sure. We might be. Were the Clintons involved anywhere? If that's the case, that would totally change my mind. Does Chuck Jones, are they friends with Hillary or Bill? I don't know. They could be. Let's see what else. Then there's another guy, Borges, is on parole after serving half his term. And Chuck Jones and Mike Dowling face nearly a dozen state charges ranging from bribery to corruption activity. And now a federal grand jury has indicted them for racketeering in January of last year. Let's hear a little bit from Morgan on this bribery thing.
For years, we've been uncovering the close ties between First Energy and major political players, now playing out in a Summit County courtroom.
He had access to John Husted, the lieutenant governor of the state of Ohio,
including now U.S. Senator John Husted's relationship with former First Energy executives Chuck Jones and Mike Dowling, and former Public Utilities Commission Chair Sam Randazzo. Jones and Dowling are currently on trial for corruption, while Randazzo took his own life after being charged. Husted has not been accused of any wrongdoing, but Euclid Democrat Ken Smith points out their closeness.
He's always been an advocate for First Energy, and First Energy was perhaps the most poorly run company in the state of Ohio.
Ouch. Text messages from our public records request show that the executive spent at least $3.5 million through dark money groups to help Husted's campaign. He was also in communication with them about House Bill 6, where First Energy spent $61 million to get legislation giving them a $1 billion bailout. Early on, Dowling emailed Jones that he had left the details of HB 6 to Husted. A brand new records request shows us Husted's calendar from 2019. And 2 days before HB 6 was introduced, Husted had a scheduled meeting with Randazzo, the bill drafter, and call logs showed dozens of conversations. Throughout the hearing process, Husted had reported more meetings relating to energy policy than any other topic or bill on his calendar. And when the Senate was holding up HB 6's passage, Jones texted Householder saying, "Husted called me 2 nights ago and was supposed to get it in the Senate version." Householder responded, "He's not a legislator." Jones responded, "I know, but he said Senate leaders would listen."
John Husted seems to have been First Energy's elected official of choice.
Husted also met with House Speaker Larry Householder, now serving time for bribery. Some of that communication happened during failed attempts to repeal the bill. We tried to ask Husted about this, but he hasn't responded. But back in 2024, when we discovered the text, he said this.
Weird.
Why should people believe you that you didn't know about this scheme?
Well, first of all, we'd be at an energy deficit today. So it's important that they were saved.
But that has nothing to do with the text about the bribery scheme.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Back to the trial going on now in Summit County. The defense called a meeting with Husted above board.
This is a very typical thing that politicians do at the end of a campaign. They meet with their supporters and thank them for their support.
John's always been a really good friend
Thank
of First
them or
Energy. With
get
friends like
marching
that,
orders.
I don't know if you need enemies.
Hold on a second. We pause that. There's one more ending. There's a kicker at the end here. Is it marching orders or is it thanking them? Not sure. Could be either. So Houston, mum's the word for Houston. But listen here, DeWine's all for, talking.
Houston is listed as a witness for the defense, and he may be testifying in the coming weeks.
All right, Morgan, there had to be other names in there. What other big names have been mentioned?
Who could it be?
Yeah, well, other than him, the biggest is Governor Mike DeWine, and he is also set to take the stand if they call him. I asked him if he's ready, and he says that he's prepared to tell everything he can remember.
Hey, there's something awfully spooky going on around here.
He's all willing to tell you, what he can remember. He's old now. He's old. He forgets things. There's some smoke there. You think?
I don't know. Do I think? I still don't. What were the texts?
They're talking back and forth about Houston said that Houston's going to get it in the bill, but Houston's not a legislature. Yeah, but he said that they would listen to him. So they're pushing for HB 6. And again, remember the context, First Energy is already admitted to bribery. So $61 million went to householder. Where did that money go? Why is it 61 million? Is it weird of me that 61 sticks out? Like if you're going to bribe somebody, do you like 60 million? No, I'm not going to do anything less than 61. No, that sounds to me like they're trying to bribe a bunch of people and it added up to $61 million. Where'd the money go? Now, I will say, what does Morgan mean by dark money groups? What the heck is that?
Well, I looked that up actually. And that's usually refers to there was
PACs.
Let me go back to exactly. Not PACs exactly. It could be charities. Hang on.
It'd be nice to have an example of a dark money group. If you're just going to say this
did have examples.
Dark money group. That's what I heard. Seems a little vague to me. Give me an example of one. And then, but I don't know. And then his reaction to her question was that was weird. What are you talking about?
Okay. So here's dark money groups, what they can consider them. 501c4 social welfare organizations, 501c6 trade associations or business leagues, sometimes 501c5 labor unions or similar entities, and
why is it dark money?
Because it's hard to trace.
Because it goes into a fund, or goes into an organization. And
it's hard to know what's actually going on because it's going through something else.
Yeah, but
it's a way of laundering, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, well,
not really. I mean, not that, but
not necessarily. It can, yes, you could get some, but then dark money groups. That's just BS, in my opinion.
PACs. Yeah, no, it's just made to sound.
Yeah.
Vague
and
it's a scary
sinister
thing.
Yeah, vague and sinister. But you don't think there's anything here? Sound like you're not buying any of that Houston did anything wrong or DeWine did anything wrong. I mean, DeWine appointed Randazzo.
Did they do anything wrong with? I think a lot can happen. I think you could do a lot without actually knowing the workings of it. Do they know there's bribes going on?
Right. So so the one story, I think the Channel 5 story, or in the clip, she says householder was given $61 million. In the Ohio Capital Journal story, she says, or it's in there. I don't know if it's in the article. I don't know if it's not quoted or anything, but the state accuses Jones and Dowling of paying Randazzo $4.3 million in bribes, along with funneling another $61 million in bribes to Ohio lawmakers to create and pass Ohio House Bill 6. Who else was there?
That's a lot of money.
That's what I mean. And that, I'm telling you that
for Ohio lawmakers. Yeah.
You don't bribe somebody. I'm sorry. Maybe you do, but I've never been bribed with millions of dollars. But I don't think you bribe them with $61 million. It'd be like 60,
not one
65.
person. That could be like.
That's what I mean.
I'm trying to think of like.
It's like a total of a bunch of people that you.
That's
I'm going to take
still
$2 million.
huge, though. I mean, even if it's even if it's 10 people.
Yeah.
That's still a massive amount of bribing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a hard time wrapping my head around this because it's just so. It's kind of convoluted, right?
Yeah.
It's all over the place. It's a lot of speculation. I don't see proofs of much. I don't know. I mean, again, I guess that's why they're having a trial.
So yeah, it says at the end of the article, the Capital Journal, what's to come. Jurors will not be made aware that First Energy, as a company, has already admitted to this bribery.
Yeah, they got good lawyers.
Which makes sense. Yes, I mean that would kill any case you had. So the company could be bribing. It doesn't necessarily mean these two people bribed it. But
those jurors, wouldn't they know a bit about this? This is in Summit County, right?
Yes.
I feel like that's kind of like it's hard to get a.
Yes.
A
fair jury poll. Yes. And, leaves a lot. That's why I say you may not want to be judged by 12 because, like you put a lot of weight in those people and they have to, if they know it, they're told to set it aside. Can they really? I don't know. Some people can.
I think some people can for sure. But I mean, frankly, I think it would be easy to find 12 people that don't know about it.
True. This is, especially this case.
But 12 honest people that say they don't know about it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So another 4 to 6 weeks of this. So we should get at least one more story, I'm sure, out of it definitely before the end, we'll probably get another, we'll see what else comes out. But, some of the...
again, I think it's going to be a lot of hit pieces. I think that's like a hit piece because I still don't... Oh, well, okay, we'll see as the trial goes.
I don't know. There's something going weird here. Something going on. I don't know. Maybe Husted's fine. Maybe he didn't do anything. Maybe he didn't know. But they're not...
I don't know if he would have been pushed to... Here's my issue. It's like he was he was a lieutenant governor, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I think it would be a tough thing to back him for Senate if there was any type of shenanigans going on.
Or would it be harder because he's a senator now? I don't know.
Or to get him in so he can get away with it?
That he can be harder to prosecute, or more, that because going from a lieutenant governor of Ohio to a state senator is a step up. I don't know. It's my tinfoil hat theory, but I don't know if he did anything wrong. He could have just been an innocent bystander in this, but
he needed a lot of money, and he got backed by the Trump administration for Senate. Yeah. I think there's a lot of baggage there if it's true. If it's not true, then like when before you back somebody, wouldn't you do a pretty thorough check on them?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe.
Sometimes,
Yeah. How thorough can you do? Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, we got 4 to 6 more weeks, so maybe we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know.
And I'm not trying to stick up for Husted. Yeah. Is it Husted or Husted? Because I've heard it said both ways.
I don't know. Husted. That's the way I pronounce it. Husted. Like Houston without the O.
But
something like that.
Yeah, there's just like I'm not trying to stick up for him because I mean if he's guilty, let him rot.
No, and I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm just saying that I have more questions.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not saying you were saying he's guilty. I'm just.
Yeah, I don't know if he is or not.
I think I'm trying to be a little bit of a kind of knock the reporting a little bit.
Yeah. She only asked the Democrat. She didn't ask both sides, basically.
Exactly.
There's always
there's that, and she's always leaning towards one side and not giving you all the facts. It's
dark money groups.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, when you look up stuff out of Columbus, her name is everywhere, as we see. Yeah. She's in 2 or 3 different publications. And then when they had this Wexner thing, I think there was like 5 reporters there. There's not many people doing it anymore. So this it makes it even more important to be fair, I should say.
Dig through this stuff a little bit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with only a few people doing it, we definitely got to keep bold questioning, honest questioning.
The issue with a lot of this reporting is you have these people that like Morgan who is definitely an activist. I think she tries to keep it fair, but she always leans one way, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
then the ones that lean the other way are definitely like, nobody's going to read those unless they're, right wing, or I don't like to use that word, but conservative.
Right.
They're not getting out to the general public. That's the issue a lot of times.
Yeah, and I didn't really find too different of take on it, on these things. I don't know. It kind of all sounded similar.
That could be a sign too. Like if something like Ohio Press Network, is that the? Yeah, Ohio Press Network isn't digging into it. Maybe there's too much.
That's a good question, because I didn't see anything on there, but they don't look it on their website real quick, and it's not even.
Yeah, it's not even mentioned.
I mean, they've, I give them credit. They have pushed.
Or it could just be a hit piece.
Right. Yeah. There's a bunch of them out there. It's not, I mean, there's something to report there. Morgan may be doing a hit piece. Yeah, I could see.
Mm-hmm.
I could see where that's coming from. But there's plenty but they all kind of sound kind of similar. Text messages kind of look a little shady in some ways. Why are you pushing so hard for this guy when there's conflict of interest there, and all that kind of stuff. And then look what happened. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on it, whether we want to or not. I guess it's part of it's what we signed up for. So we'll do it for you, not to you, but for you. Moving on to the next is more shocking stories about school funding. Oh no, more cuts. Akron taxpayers are shocked that they're not getting the money. They're not getting their money's worth. They just can't believe it. Same story, different district. This next clip could actually be an ad for EdChoice. They should just do a little editing and.
But this is another article written from one view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more looking at the response to the people in these clips.
But they're only showing one view. I mean, I didn't hear the clips, so go ahead.
They're kind of only showing one view. You'll hear in the clip. We'll just listen to the clip. You'll hear it. I think we'll talk about it.
As a taxpayer and a voter, you said that you supported the levies. How do you feel?
Well, I feel kind of betrayed. I was told that we were going to save millions of dollars and, we wouldn't have to make as many cuts if we supported the levies.
Shocked.
One day, Josh Schaefer hopes to send his daughter to Akron Public Schools, but he is worried about the quality of her education now that the district needs to cut $11 million from its budget.
My property taxes have increased to, I think, about $500 goes to the school each 6 months. So, that's not a lot, but it's the largest portion of property taxes. And I expect a good return for that investment.
I'm very confused on where the money is going.
That's why Angel Harris says her child will not be starting kindergarten next fall at Akron Public Schools.
Where are they going to go?
Despite the district's plans to attract families back after seeing a decline in enrollment.
I would like my son to be somewhere that he's going to thrive and that he's going to matter.
Where?
He's not
Where'd
just going to be seat number 32 in a classroom that is only supposed to have 25.
During Monday's meeting, Superintendent Mary Outley told board members the district has to make staffing cuts, operational changes, and program reductions. While nothing is set in stone, Outley says 16 administrator positions, 13 college and career academies teachers, and 5 teachers could be eliminated. 10 and a half paraprofessionals those positions would also be reassigned to other roles. Meantime, Outley says the district could let go of at least one substitute and online mentor.
So overall for personnel,
online mentor,
we're looking at just over $6 million in reductions.
The superintendent also pitched another $4 million in savings by asking every department to cut its budget by 6.5%, with exceptions to athletics, transportation, environmental management, and maintenance. Some other proposed cuts in Outley's plan could limit the purchase of new Chromebooks, revamp the district's summer school programming, and adjust standardized testing based on student participation.
I accept a challenge to try to stay away from the classroom.
Please stay away.
But I also know that by 2028, we have to reduce our budget by, I believe our treasurer said $58 million. And so we have to make some tough decisions.
Why?
The board is expected to vote on the proposal next month. For News 5, I'm Remy Murray reporting.
Why they cut so much? Is it because the state's not giving them enough? Are they overstaffed? Seems like it. They want to cut 16 administrative level people from the district.
Are they cutting schools? Closing?
The Akron did not say. I don't think that's Cleveland. Definitely doing that. We'll talk about them coming up here. But again, these not really. I mean, it's about Akron, but this is not really about Akron. This is happening everywhere in all the major cities, except for maybe a couple. Maybe like Columbus. Maybe Columbus is still growing, but most of all these cities, their school districts are shrinking. Their enrollment is down. Akron is one. Not as bad as some of the other ones, but it's on the downtrend. They keep getting increases. This poor schmuck in the beginning who, I can't believe it. They told me they were going to cut and they didn't. Oh my gosh. You're still going to send your kid to Akron schools, aren't you?
Him and his boyfriend got a daughter.
Where this lady, where are they sending her kid? Talk about one-sided. So she's not going to Akron public schools. Could someone say Ed Choice? I bet that's what she's doing. I bet she's used Ed Choice to send her kid to a private school. Because why? Because the Akron City School Districts is not very good. I didn't even look up their graduation rate, but I can't imagine it's much better than Summit counties, which we
and this is why you should never vote for a levy.
Yeah, because I can just keep voting for them, and they don't change anything. You know, it's amazing. I keep giving them more money, and they don't cut.
What am I getting for my investment?
At what he's paying for schools, at what he says, $500 a half, so $1,000 a year, he could afford a private school if he didn't have to pay that.
Mm-hmm.
That's about what they're. I mean, it depends where you go. They're in, as high school gets more expensive, but you can go to a decent private school for $12,000 to $15,000 a year. And I know what Akron's paying. No, Stark County was paying $22,000 a student. Cleveland City Schools is well over $20,000, $19,000 or $20,000. State average is almost $17,000 per student. But yet you can get a education. But some of those buildings are more than 50 years old, Tom, at those private schools. How can the kids learn? How can they? Oh no, sorry, it's supposed to be this. That was slipped. I slipped the button. It could have worked. And I mean, they could have said, yeah, well, she chose Ed Choice and to get her kids out of a failing school district. And this other guy's like, no, I'm still going to send them. So $11 million in cuts, and they got to do $58 million in the next 2 years. They got to do $58 million. They got to do $11 million times 5. I did the math, plus some.
But to me, that sounds like it's going to close some schools.
How do you cut $58 million when every year you're asking for more and more and more? I want to know why they have to cut so much. And I know they're going to say because the state isn't holding up their end of the bargain on the state funding part, or the smart school funding plan, or whatever the hell they had a few years ago that they agreed upon. Again, not really about Akron. It's just this is why we need to get control of these politicians, especially the local. And the only way to do it, I think, is to cut and make them work for it. Make them figure out a new system because they're never going to do it. Like this schmuck said, I can't believe I keep giving them more money and they don't cut any spending. No crap, really? No. And so the next story ties right into that because Lorain County officials warn of catastrophic fate if property taxes are abolished. I'm using it way too much today, but it fits. Like the Lake County has had a meeting to inform people, as the air quotes, Tom, inform residents, not in a biased way, definitely not in a biased way, but it's going to be catastrophic, but it's definitely not, we're not being biased. Let's listen to our little clip here we got from Lorain County property tax catastrophe.
Filling the Riverside High School auditorium on Wednesday.
Filling it, he says.
Roughly 60 Lake County property owners looking for clarity on how the potential of abolishing property taxes would impact the community and what changes may be on the way.
I feel like I'm being bled dry in some aspect.
While Rich Armstrong says his latest property tax bill increased significantly, he doesn't want to do away with property taxes.
I feel we need reform in every level of the government, whether it be the school, the state.
And schools like Riverside Local, if property taxes were dropped, would reportedly take the biggest hit.
80% of our budget comes from local property taxes, whether they're residential or commercial and business property taxes. So it would be catastrophic.
Not only that, but the Lake County Treasurer says other public services will run out of options for funding.
They go for roads, they go
run
for
out
cars,
of options.
They go for safety services, police and fire. You're talking about Meals on Wheels. You're talking about in-home health services. You're talking about the Adams Board to help people reestablish their lives after they go through something traumatic.
Funding options.
Part of tonight's goal to kind of sway people into not voting against property taxes?
No, it was really non-biased, just trying to show the whole picture.
Noted in the presentation, ways to keep from cutting property taxes. The backup solution, according to a recent survey of more than 1,000 Ohioans, cut wasteful spending, increase sin tax on marijuana, gambling, and tobacco, or impose premiums on luxury goods.
Okay. Somebody's got to figure that out.
As the campaign to abolish property taxes continues, and the clock ticks on collecting enough signatures to get it on the November ballot.
What would your message be to constituents, parents, Lake County homeowners as they kind of battle this decision in their mind of what do I do?
We haven't seen a viable solution to the abolishment of property taxes to continue even some level of service. And I think that to me is, education is the key to it.
They come up with one.
For News 5 here in Lake County, I'm Kaylee Olives.
There's no solutions. What are we going to do? There's no solutions. Then come up with one. That's the problem. We can't abolish it, Tom, because there's no solution, so we just can't do anything.
And the scare tactics are beginning.
Oh, yes. I talked to somebody this week who said somehow it came up. I definitely don't bring it up. And man, those people abolish their taxes. Property taxes. We're gonna have a 30% sales tax. I looked over. I said, "Are you crazy? Are you going to believe that crap? Are you going to literally believe that absolute garbage?" And I started talking to him, and the T word came up. Well, did you hear Trump? And I just went, "I'm not even going to talk about it." I said, don't tell me you're a Trump." I said, "No, I'm a Rob guy. I'm not a Trump guy. Who cares? Answer me this question." And I started going through the litany of stuff. Hey, when you pay your house off, what happens? Well, you got to pay. Yes, you got to rent from the county. I go, and if you stop paying your rent from the county, what do? They take your house away. Well, yeah, that's true. I said, when they raise your rates, what have you gained? Well, I said, no, when your house goes up and your house value goes up and your property tax goes up, how much money have you made? Well, none. I go, then why are you getting taxed on gains that you haven't realized? Well, yeah, that's true. Key here is I avoided the TDS. I got them off TDS, and I push them onto the. You start talking about real things, and they start going, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And then you go talk to them again in 30 minutes, and it's the same conversation.
Oh, it'll go right back. Yeah, I know. I think though it's just that orange man bad, and so anyway, off the topic, kind of. Solutions. 1,000 Ohioans polled. We get what we deserve. We get what we deserve because this is cut wasteful spending. No shit, really? Oh, tax marijuana more. Oh yeah, that'll help. No, don't worry about reining in spending. No, just worry about more taxes. This is why we're in this situation here because who are these people polled? That's what you came up with. Just less spending. Yeah, just less spending. Yeah, we've been trying that for, I don't know, forever. Yeah. They're idiots. Schmucks is the word of the day. Schmucks. And what do you think? What are you thinking? Thinking that's a good solution or no? I just heard that and I was like, good Lord, we get what we deserve. I mean, this is why
I was surprised you actually pulled that story when I first saw it. Because it's just hyperbolic. Coming from a low info, unfortunately a rep, right, from Lake County?
Yeah, Lake County officials.
Yeah. Not a rep, but
yeah, county or like county board or something or other. I can't remember what it was now. I didn't even want to bother saying who it is, but
low info person and just the usual person in government that doesn't want to do work.
Lake County Treasurer is who it was.
Yeah.
Well, and because I looked at this next one here, I've been saving this one because I just kind of like to put these in together and kind of, I don't know, just look at the bigger picture here, which is, this is the scare tactic. It's only going to get worse from here. So I figured address it and make fun of it because it's freaking ridiculous. And all these people, but that's also part of that story. That's what people listen. They hear this and that's, we're going to have 20%. DeWine said we're going to have a 20% sales tax. I've heard that like 3 or 4 times in the past couple of weeks.
Oh, Michael Zern is actually, I guess that's a part-time job.
Yeah.
Treasurer of Lake County.
Yeah.
Because he's also a cross-country mortgage loan officer.
Huh. Almost like somebody who would benefit from higher property values, huh?
You think? I don't know.
Kind of.
Lower property values might help him more. I mean, not values, lower property taxes, get more people buying houses, pay a little bit more for them. He would make more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you got a higher property value, doesn't the bank make more money?
Well, I don't know how a mortgage loan officer, how the pay works, but is it a bit of a
shave, like the realtor gets like a percentage?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
Yeah, because some of these guys make some really good money.
Yeah, I have some people I know in the business. Yeah, and when times were good, they were rolling in it.
Yeah, especially when the times are good. But I last time I talked to a guy, I didn't know him too well, but I talked to him, and it was it was about 2021, 2022 when the housing market's kind of slowing down a lot, and he was still doing good. Yeah, he was worried that things are going to collapse, but he's like, no, people are still buying houses, not at the rate that they were, but he was still doing fine.
Yeah. Yeah, the good ones will stay in it. And when things get lean, the people who are just, the not as sharp people will fade away and go do something else. I did think there was one other thing go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry to knock you off your rails here. I wanted to see who this guy was.
No, it gives me time. I wanted to just point out something else, which was for fire and safety and police, they're going to run out of options. They have one option. If you don't have property tax, what other options do they have? They've run out. That's what they said. They will run out of funding options. Is there a finite amount of funding options there's only like 2? There's many ways to skin this cat. It just happens to be, I don't think property tax is the best way, especially for schools. Maybe for fire and safety, maybe that's a good good way to do it, but not for schools, in my opinion, at least. So, and one of the reasons is, I think, well, let's go to the next one. We have Cleveland. That was Lake County. Saying the sky is falling because if you abolish property taxes, you're going to die. Cleveland school administrators. Cleveland City Schools doing good, Tom? Then
They're doing great.
Then why are their the school administrators getting raises? I wonder why would that be?
When I read this, I kind of laughed. But are they getting raises because schools are closing down, and they're going to maybe, are they having more responsibilities because other people are being let go?
I don't know.
Not saying that's good. I'm just because it doesn't say. Doesn't really give you much info here.
They're closing schools for money reasons, but I think it's deeper than just funding. There's no freaking students anymore. So why do you going to have a student? You're going to have a school with 35 kids in it. So they've been consolidating. Remember, we talked about this. There was a couple of catches in some of these stories where they're consolidating schools over the years. They'll put like one school, the nicest school, whatever, biggest one, whatever, take two other schools, make it one. But they're not really making it one. It's one building with three separate schools in it. It means 3 principals, 3 vice principals, 3 secretaries, 3 people answering the phone. That's what it's, at least in the article, the way it alluded to. Maybe they didn't get that far, but they had 3, in a lot of these schools, they had multiple sets of administrators because it was different school in the same building. Maybe that's part of it. That's part of the reason why they're closing these buildings down, because they don't need them. Remember, in the last 20 years, they've cut their enrollment cut in half.
Right.
At the same time, they keep building new schools and adding more buildings to what the district owns. So while this Cleveland City Schools are closing and they're cutting the budget and they're complaining they need more money and the state doesn't get enough money, the administrators are getting raises. Maybe if we listen to this clip carefully, you can figure out where the problem might arise or might come up in this whole system of Cleveland Public Schools. Let's listen to the old clip machine.
This week, the I-Team reported most of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District executive leadership team got raises.
Gaelic duo.
Plus, another school administrator received a raise of nearly $30,000. And we found the district paying a consultant more than $270,000 for 7 months of work.
Yet the district now closing and merging dozens of schools.
Facing massive budget problems, leaving teachers and parents furious.
We aren't getting things that the students need, but administrators are getting raises.
Our children are standing outside in the cold, waiting for buses that never come.
It just shows, do we have a system in place to actually hold each other's accountable?
Cleveland Councilman Richard Starr tells the I-Team, maybe it's time for change.
The school board members get appointed.
By who?
Starr wonders maybe they should be elected and have to answer to voters for decisions.
So it's like, where is the actual checks and balances to ensure that we are doing what we're supposed to do and making sure we prioritize the children?
Then you raise top administrator salaries.
We only had somebody in government that could.
Absolute insult to parents and taxpayers in this city.
Councilman Mike Polensek also wants the school board members held accountable by voters.
In 2024, voters approved a tax increase. Now, huge budget cuts and administrators getting raises.
Just like
Give me
Akron.
a break. This is what you do? Anyone who ever votes for another school levy in this city needs their head examined.
We've revealed one administrator received a raise of nearly $30,000. And records show the CEO now earns just under $300,000 a year.
By the way,
6 other top execs now make more than $200,000 a year.
What's that?
The CEO, who they just said earns just under $300,000, they got a 5% raise. So that's not exactly a huge raise.
No.
And the most notable one was that it went from $98,000 to over $127,000. Executive Director of College and Career Readiness.
Well, definitely in the city of Cleveland, he definitely deserves a raise then, because that's a Whew. Let me finish. I got a few more seconds here.
Okay.
We tried for days to get someone from the district to talk to us about this on camera, but the district did not agree to that.
The I-team raised questions about big raises and spending, even in the face of big cutbacks.
Now our investigation sparking backlash. With other
Backlash.
city officials asking more questions, too.
Because right now you have everything ran just through a system that is not working.
In Cleveland,
Yeah, I wonder-
Peggy Gallagher.
Ed Galley, Fox 8, I-team.
I wonder who else is a part of that system. Maybe the councilman Rich Starr, and then the other guy. I didn't get his name.
Kind of interesting here that I got. I asked, are there fewer administrators? And maybe that's why they're getting a raise, but it's not. It's district remains criticized for being overstaffed, and there's no announcement of cuts to central executive team. So I was off base on that.
Well, no, I mean, it's a good question to ask. I don't think that's kind of my point is you're closing schools. You should need less administrators. Why are they even still there? If for the last 20 years you've had enrollment drop by half, have you removed any of the administrators when you had twice as many students?
Well, that was my question. Yeah. You know, and they haven't. So I didn't know that because the article doesn't say that. It just says people are getting raises.
Yeah.
Which, you know, you have to question. But I was like, at first I was like, oh, are they getting rid of some administrators and maybe administrators are taking on a bigger role?
Right. So
that's all I was asking.
I think they're cutting fat. So it sounds like to me. I think they're cutting people. And I don't think they need to put any more responsibility on anybody else because to me it seems like they are overstaffed because they just haven't shrunk their administrative staff since they're closing all these schools and stuff. I don't know.
Right.
No, I
just wasn't sure if they did or not.
Yeah. Oh no, I got you. Yeah, I think I get the whole thing that some people need raises and this. I get you, but if your company were Cleveland Schools District, would you be getting a raise?
Well, no, hang on a second. I don't mind the raise, the 5% raise, if they're doing a good job, but they're not doing a good job. They shouldn't even be there.
That's my point. If there was a company, would they be getting? No, they would be fired.
Yeah, they would be replaced.
Right.
And this person that got a 30% increase, that's
that could be
that's substantial right there. Yeah, who knows why? I mean, that's a big bump.
Seems like a big bump, but if things drastically change, or like you said, maybe they consolidated, that could be it. It seems like a huge. Why would you give? I mean, you're under scrutiny, so why would you give somebody such a huge raise unless you can prove that he needed it? Whatever, I don't know. But I don't think they should be getting a damn raise. They should be getting a pay cut, and they should be getting.
Well, I think they should be replaced.
Well, yeah, okay, that's a good point. Yeah,
I
don't know when the last time they had a cleaning of the house of the Cleveland School District, but it doesn't matter. You can use another one.
I mean, okay, so this guy the CEO got a 5% raise, and then it says at least 6 other top executives are now earning more than 200. Well, were they earning 185?
Yeah.
And now they're a little bit over 200. Okay, that's maybe they suck and we need to get rid of them, but that could have also been kind of like an automatic, yearly 4% or 5% raise.
Because really what I kept looking at was these councilmen saying, well, there should be checks and balances. Yeah, isn't that you guys?
Well, somebody needs to be checking them.
Yeah. One guy's like, well, we got a system of this unaccountability. And like, yeah, you're part of that system. The other guy's going, he's saying, well, he had great points saying if anyone, votes for another levy increase or out of their minds. Yeah, I think so. But they keep doing it. Like in Akron, they told me they were gonna cut spending, and I gave them more money, and then they increased spending.
I gotta say, man, as you know, my wife got laid off a couple of weeks ago, so she's been looking for a job and applying to different places, and she applied to this school. I sent her a link to this job posting, and the pay was. It was very good. It was like around $150,000 a year. And it was for a school. What are those schools? Are they called like satellite schools? They're public schools, but they're charter school? Okay? So like it was a charter school, but it was inner city, and it's basically helping inner city youth. Maybe somebody that has potential that maybe the girl was. If you go to their website, I forget the name of it, but if you go to their website, you're seeing pregnant kids, girls, or troubled youth that are maybe have potential in education. But the pay is for the role was probably a good, I don't know, 30% more than another position like that. Pardon me?
In another district or another school?
No, I couldn't. I didn't look up other schools. I'm just saying that position. And if you go work in a corporation, you're going to probably make about 30% less.
Oh, well, I think the key there is inner city school.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
she got turned down immediately. Like, I mean, she applied and exactly. That's what because I didn't even know what the school was. So I just sent her the posting that I saw. She applied to it. And then probably like 20 minutes later, she got turned down.
Oh my God.
And she has all the credentials and she has the experience to do what what the job said. And then I went on their website and I was like, oh,
thanks for not wasting your time, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
Give them credit for not dragging you along.
Yeah. That's true. But it was definitely like, no, they're looking for a certain demographic to work there, which is kind of normal. It's inner city,
Yeah. I have a family member that is a teacher. She used to be, I don't know if she still is in Cleveland. And yeah, she's very Italian not Italian. Her mom was, I can't remember what Eastern European thing. So they kind of have it. She's very white, but she has dark black hair, super straight black hair. And she said that all the girls love her straight black hair and they wish they could have straight black. They ask her to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
And she loves it. She loves it to a point because, a lot of the kids are very, very eager to learn, especially at a young age. And to have somebody there that, having people that are enthusiastic about it, maybe that's kind of what they were looking for, somebody. But yeah, it's a very different atmosphere. And I drove past one the other day, Cleveland school, and it was right at school time. Because I remember going, dang it, school zone. Oh, should have timed this better. And I'm looking, I go, damn it. And they have ropes outside for a line for the kids to walk in.
Uh-huh.
Because they're all waiting to go through a metal detector.
Right.
I'm like, damn, dude. Damn, that sucks. I was like, wow. And that's not far from my house. Not too far from my house. Less than 15 minutes in Cleveland. So next, we got to stop because mid-show break. Subscribe to the Crooked Rivercast at crookedrivercast.com. Send us an email, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We do get the listener emails every now and again, and love hearing your feedback. Leave us a review if you don't mind on your favorite podcast app or system. Tell them what you think about Crooked Rivercast. Got anything you could help us with? Anything in your area that you think are going on and what's going on? Let us know. With Boots on the Ground would help. We always like to know what you guys are thinking, so we can kind of maybe look into that direction. Sometimes it helps us focus a little bit on what we should be talking about. CrookedRivercast.com. Every Monday, the blog comes out on the website. Go check it out. It has all our stories on it and links, and you can watch a lot of the clips of the actual full videos or audio of what we put in there most of the time. And let us know what you think. Appreciate you listening. Share the show. All right, I'm about to say something very triggering, so if you're driving, just be careful. But, ladies and gentlemen, Ohio is in quarantine for this spotted lantern fly. But so sorry if I scared you. Yes, I think we brought that. Whoa!
We've talked about this.
Did you hear that? That's all of a sudden I got audio. We didn't hear that. Avon Lake. This story is from Fox 19 News. We talked about this last year. The spotted lantern fly.
Mm-hmm.
This thing's ugly.
Yeah, I see so many of them at work.
Yeah, I've seen a few at my house.
They attach themselves to your car, and then they end up in your yard. I was like, my wife found one. I was like, and then I'm looking at my truck, and there's a couple of them in the wheel wells.
You're not going to like it. Did you see the very first line of, like below the headline? What it says about invasive insects threatening 15,000 acres of vineyards. This is critical. Ohio vineyards. Yeah, I mean, wine is big. It's important to a lot of people.
Well, I love grapes.
I know.
The fermented kind.
You don't like to ingest them after they're fermented. Yeah. So yeah, they got a I always wonder that, like, what are they trying to do? Like, what's the quarantine mean? And
the quarantine. Did you read it?
A little bit of it. I didn't get to all of it, but
it's basically they can't, like, if you have a nursery that sells trees and stuff like that. So
they want inspections and stuff.
Yeah, everything's inspected, and same. I don't think coming in, but anything going out of Cuyahoga, I'm assuming, or because this is Lorain, so anything probably Northeast Ohio has to be inspected before it goes out.
Yeah, seems like it's
a futile attempt.
Yeah, futile attempts, exactly. Give it a good old college try, but it's kind of like there was something I went camping a few years ago. My uncle was telling me, because he had a ban on bringing firewood into the campgrounds. And I'm like, oh, that's convenient. Like, I can only buy it from the campground or around the campground. But no, it was some bark beetle or something like that. It was killing a bunch of trees. And I'm like, can you really, because he told me that I wasn't allowed to do this because I'd filled the van with wood from my wood pile. And I was like, oh, well, too late. I already got a bunch of wood. So how are they going to stop it? It's kind of hard. It's really hard. It sucks. Is this a Chinese beetle? Is this a Chinese thing? Is this China?
Yeah, this is from China. Bastards. Probably came in on a tanker.
Probably held onto a tanker for 6 weeks.
Yep.
On the other side of it.
Yeah, they're off, and they move weird. So, like at work, we have a blacktop parking lot, and they cover the parking lot. So, and you don't even really see them, even though they're kind of, they got to, you just don't see it when the sun's beaming down and there's glare off the lot, and you're just walking, and all of a sudden these things start jumping around you and flying all weird, and you're like, oh man. And then they're trying to get in your car when you open up the door.
Those bastards trying to hitch a ride. Come on.
Well, they're hitching a ride by getting into your wheel wells and stuff like that.
Well, this is even worse than I thought. Tom says the insect is native to Asia and is a pest to grapes and hops. And hops, Tom. That's wine and beer. I mean, it says something about apples too, but whatever. Hops and vineyard and grapes. Oh my gosh.
Less people drinking anyway, so no worries.
I'm not willing to take a chance on the hops part.
They are. I forget. I was reading an article. It was last year, but cardinals are one, and there is another animal that is feeding on these things, and they love them. So cardinals love them too. So we just gotta have
natural predator. Yeah.
Yeah, they do have natural predator. I don't know if it's enough to.
It is the state bird.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We should have more of them. Yeah, I wish I would see more of them because they are cool.
I had a blue jay and a cardinal in my backyard for many years. I don't know if they're still there. I'd see them all the time, both of them. I said, you guys better not be talking to each other because you'd get like a purple bird. It'd be weird. All right. So under quarantine, watch careful. Kill the lanternfly. Kill it dead.
Kill it and look up the nest, the egg. The eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, you could look at your trees while they're bare, and you could find the nest of eggs, and you could just scrape it off the tree into something you could just burn. I saw somebody just putting them in a plastic Ziploc bag and
burn the tree. Just burn the tree down. Just don't even take a chance. Burn the whole tree.
Well, if it's dropping leaves on my yard, then burn it down.
Definitely. My neighbors, be warned.
If it's putting shade on my garden, burn it down.
Oh yeah. That's what we can do with your neighbor's trees at your dad's house. So yeah, kill the lanternfly. Everybody, make sure you kill the lanternfly.
I did find the nest of eggs on one of my dad's pear tree. Actually, yeah. Got to scrape that off.
All right, let's get to the next one here, Tom, because the sheriff is talking. The Cuyahoga County Sheriff is actually talking now. Seems like he's had plenty of meetings with his lawyer, and he knows exactly what not to say. No, teasing, but he went on WTAM for a lengthy interview, which I got a little bit of a clip from. So talking about overtime, we talked last week. Last week, yeah, I think so. County,
last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Cuyahoga County overtime is like $42 million. $27 million of it is the sheriff's department. Some of the sheriff's deputies are making twice as much as the county executive or whatever. Over $300,000, $125,000 in salary and almost $175,000 in overtime. And so now Chris Renane, the county executive, I'm trying to wrap my head around this again, and he is trying to take over the funding or get a hold of the funding or review the funding, do some kind of administrative work. And he's the one who appointed him, so I don't know who else could do it. The sheriff is now suing because in the county charter, it says sheriff's department shall be independent. And now, like we said last week, mom and dad are fighting. And there's a couple of things on this clip. Let's just hear what the sheriff has to say first. And we can talk about that. Where's my sheriff's clip? There it is.
When you hear somebody say the sheriff's office has crazy amounts of overtime, what do you say to that?
They don't realize that it's staffing driven and it's mandate driven. There are things we must do to maintain the safety, not only in the correctional facility, but in all of the functions that we conduct. We conduct court operations, we conduct patrol operations, we conduct other undercover things, but the correctional center is the largest part of the sheriff's department. And it is the part that mandates 24-hour staffing and care for the 1,500 or so residents in our custody.
So you are basically saying that per the contract, you are mandated to staff at certain levels, to have people there. When it comes to your deputies patrolling streets and stuff, you're not doing anything above and beyond what is mandated by contract, correct?
Correct. Two things. One is the Ohio Revised Code, which says that sheriffs have to maintain the public peace, run the courts, run correctional facilities, and the litany of other things. But those basic functions must be conducted. And to run a correctional facility of our size, 24/7, 75 housing units, 12 floors, with a limited number of staff, someone has to work overtime, whether it's 5 officers working 10 hours or it's one officer working 50 hours within the guidelines of the law and the union contract.
What if you had 6 officers?
I have somebody within the county say that they feel that you and Ronayne have valid points on this, but they did say that overtime is a horrible problem and no other counties have this problem. Is that true? And if so, why is it this county is the only one that has that problem?
Don't know if others have it to that degree,
elected,
but I do
not
know
elected.
that an underfunding of the sheriff's department caused that. And that's something that's not just now. It has been traditionally the case, even before the executive Ronayne and myself came in here, something that has happened historically at the sheriff's department. But the underfunding of the department and of these functions leads to that. So it's not like we were given the appropriate budget and staffing to execute the mission and went over that. We're given numbers which were significantly lower than what was historically the case the last few years, with some leeway to try and put some innovations in place, but not enough to quite close the gap.
Do you buy it?
No.
Like I get what he's saying. We have to staff. We have to staff per our contract, per county guidelines, as far as you have to have people at the jail. You have to have officers at the jail. And that's what he's saying. Well, we got to staff. What are we supposed to do? I don't know. It sounds like you're understaffed. So he's saying part of the reason they got here is because of underfunding. The reason they're overspending is because of underfunding. Okay. Are you not allowed to hire? Are they? Is the county stopping you? Is a contract or whatever he's talking about stopping you from hiring more people? If not, then what the hell are you even talking about? What would be better? What would be cheaper for the county to have more officers or more officers working more hours? Which would be safer for the county to have more officers or officers working more hours? What's better? I don't know. It's not clear why they don't just hire more deputies. But then we think about the deputies they have hired, and maybe this is part of the reason why, because they're named Vajusi. And they like to roll down the street at 80 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour with their AR-15 out the window.
Are they included in the overtime?
Yes, it's sheriff's
like the
department.
Safety team?
Yes, sheriff's department.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
all included. He's blaming most of it on the county jail because that's their responsibility to staff it, which, again, I get what he's saying, but it doesn't get you out of it.
Well, it sounds like it would be cheaper to hire more people.
Cheaper and safer.
Yeah.
Because you're not having sheriff's deputies working 70, 80 hours a week.
Probably making some double time. I mean, that's a lot of overtime, so there has to be double time.
And he's talking about in the other parts of the clip, pay rate increases per the contract. I go, okay, so to me that says the contract states you got to give a pay raise to, every so many years or every year, whatever it is. Okay, but how is that going to overtime? Like, what does that have to do with overtime? We're talking about them working more than 40 or 50 hours a week. How does that have to do with their pay rate increase? I don't get it. It sounds like I don't understand something, or he's just BSing me. But at least he came out and talked.
I gotta say, I'm still befuddled by. They don't say how much overtime.
How many hours or?
Yeah.
$27 million, but yeah.
Right, but they're not telling you how many hours is the average guy doing in overtime, or even the higher guys, the ones that are went from $125,000, $300,000 in a year. $175,000 in overtime. What the hell is going on, man?
I don't know. It's got to be 20 hours a week. 20 hours a week.
No, that's way more than 20 hours a week, dude.
Could be. I'm just trying to guess off the top of my head.
Way more. I mean, I've worked 20 hours of overtime in a week, and yeah, that makes a difference. It's not tripling my pay.
I'm wondering for them on weekends, is it double time when it's overtime? That kind of, or is
I doubt it. I think
is it double time on the weekends and then you get overtime double time? I don't know.
Well, okay.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It's only 20 hours a week. Let's put it that way. But you're probably right. It could be 30.
No, I'm thinking it's 80 hours a week. I think it's like 16-hour shifts and stuff like that.
Yeah. It seems like they're understaffed. The question I have is, why are you understaffed? Are you handcuffed by something, or are you just a crappy leader? Or you think it's better to have your guys work extra hours and pay them for it? Because there is some of that I can understand to a certain extent. You would like to give the hours to the people who have been there for a while, but when you get to a certain level, you got to start hiring people. What the hell?
I don't think to me 60 hours doesn't seem like a lot. I think a lot of guys would not for a cop,
sheriff or whatever.
Even busy shop. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, trust me, when I did that, I didn't like it. I liked the paycheck, but I didn't like being there that many hours. But 60 hours, that you're talking 20 hours of overtime. I mean, that's a lot of overtime, but it's not
unheard of at all.
That's not unheard of, because construction guys do it. I mean, that's kind of typical. But for a cop to make 2/3 more,
mm-hmm.
that's a whole other level of overtime pay there. I can't even wrap my head around that.
Yeah, I bet they hire a few more officers. They can cut that in half.
Easy.
And you have more coverage. You'll have better coverage. Ideally you would, because you'd have more people who aren't overworked and burnt out.
Okay, so you get one guy who's working 80 hours a week. You hire one person. That cuts their hours to 40, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, even if they each work 50 to 60 hours, you're still saving a ton of money.
Oh yeah, for sure. I won't. You hire one. Maybe it cuts it, and at certain weeks you work more. People take vacation, all this other stuff. So I get all that. I just think it was kind of it's not a bad interview. I give him credit. At least he's coming out and talking. It took him a while.
Or is somebody getting overtime and going home and sleeping?
Well, they do bring that up that, he asks, is there any way to manipulate this? And he claims not really. I mean, anything can be manipulated, but they are audited. They've been audited. the county sheriff's department has been audited. He brings it up in the meeting, and like his initial statement is, completely pre-planned and read.
Hey, George Costanza made a bed under his desk and he slept at work.
What envious I was of him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, you're working third shift. There's really nothing to do when you're just napping. I don't know.
Yeah. So his claim is they've been audited and it's an outside firm has looked and seen that this overtime is needed because of these reasons. But again, it still goes back to then hire more people. It's not you're going to get slow all of a sudden. It's just the way it is. So I think you should. Really, I think the problem is they say, why is Cuyahoga County the only county that really has this much of a problem? And I'm like, well, I mean, selected, not elected.
Yeah. That is the big thing about this, right?
Yeah. Yep, it is. Because how do you get them out? You got to pressure Ronayne to get him out, right? I don't know. I don't even know what the county charter says.
Can you fire him?
Yeah. What's the county charter say? You got to be independent of the executive team, but how do you get him out? It's got to be a way. I'm sure it's got to be put up for a vote somewhere, I'd imagine.
A board?
The county executive board would probably have to vote him out, I would imagine.
Right.
That's my initial guess, but maybe we should look into that and see, because it might be coming up to, they keep fighting, and Ronayne may push the lever on that. Who knows? Problem is, he's going to appoint the next guy. That's as well. So that's going to be.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. We'll follow through and see what happens. Who's going to win the fight? And just so everybody is on the same page, the only one losing is the people.
The county executive has the authority to appoint and remove the sheriff.
Oh.
But post-2019 charter changes added protections to prevent unilateral firings. Public hearing, supermajority vote, so 8 out of 11 county council members. And they have to have a case, to do it.
Yep. I don't know if he has it quite yet, but
maybe there's not enough. But I mean, I don't know. That amount of overtime sounds like enough to me.
Sounds a little bit like mismanagement, if you ask me. Again, not thinking ahead. Gotta be better with the money, man. It's just the way it is. But and then blaming the lack of funding on the fact that you spend too much money is pretty funny, to be honest with me.
Citizens can. It's hard to do, but the most realistic citizen-driven path is for pushing for judicial removal by gathering signatures for a misconduct complaint. So, yeah.
Okay.
There's ways, but I don't know if there's enough to gather signatures.
Maybe. Probably not at this point. Not at this point.
Not yet.
It's just $27 million, Tom. Nobody gives
That's all.
Just raise taxes. That's how we're going to fix the school thing, right?
I love my property taxes.
We're going to raise taxes on marijuana. It's going to solve everything. Moving on to this last story on our list of, before we get to our good things segment, is unexplained Ohio fisherman's strange encounter. I figured I'd keep this. Just kept popping up. And considering that, what did the president just do? Order them to release something about all the alien encounters or something like that?
Yeah, okay.
Was it something like that?
Something like that.
I mean, he announced it. Not that anything's really going to change, but I figured this is kind of fitting. But yeah, I've been to Salt Fork.
After Obama admitted there are, and then he walked it back.
I did. What are you talking about? That's classified? I didn't know that.
I just meant this. There has to be with such a large universe. What the hell kind of accent was that?
That was like a Southern preacher or something like that. Close to Obama, though. It's close. Chicago, Southern. Let's listen to a couple of things that are strange in here. These are just regular guys hanging out, fishing, in the middle of the night, as you do. And
I did that a lot.
Yeah. Oh no, you do. I'm not
in my younger days. Yeah.
No, night fishing is a lot. You can get some good fishing. The waters are calm. The fish are they're night partiers. They party at night, I hear. So, let's hear what they had to say. Some strange things I like to point out in here, like, there's like clothing issues and they can't remember things. And then let's listen to this, a little bit of this report here.
They were scared.
2 men night fishing at Salt Fork State Park in Guernsey County, Ohio.
Whatever they saw affected them so much, they didn't want to go outside the house at night. They were afraid something was going to happen to them again.
Regular guys, so disturbed, they immediately contacted the Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON.
They had on speed dial.
Our goal is to do scientific research. They seem very, very credible.
Ohio MUFON Director Tom Wortman launched an investigation with anomalous findings.
Could have been a UFO? Very likely. Very likely.
The men don't want to be identified, but Tom says the encounter started with strange lights August 2014.
As it always does.
10:30. That's when they saw something kind of weird in the sky, like a moon except smaller.
An hour later, another light.
Directly overhead. They stopped, they're watching light as it passes over.
Then, between 1:30 and 1:45 a.m., they heard a shrill woman's cry.
Nice.
One's baiting his hook, the other one's sitting in the lawn chair. And all of a sudden, the one sitting in the lawn chair says, something doesn't look right. So he gets his cell phone out. And it was 5:19 in the morning. He remembers absolutely nothing.
Over 3.5 hours gone in an instant. With no alcohol or drugs involved, he says. The other man also drawing a complete blank.
Was still baiting his hook. 3.5 hours later, he's still standing there.
Tom is still unable to find a scientific explanation for the lights and lost time.
And in my research, there was no air traffic in that whole region at all, that close. We did soil analysis, had the highest iron content. As you got away from that spot, it dissipated. Less magnetism to pull it up the soil with.
Their clothing is even more peculiar. One man's shirt was inside out, like someone else had dressed him, and both sets of clothing covered in unexplained chemicals.
The location that these chemicals were found in, which didn't quite add up. One of the jackets had kind of a pink coloration to it.
So do you believe they were abducted?
Something happened, and all the indications are pointing towards something that is just beyond our realm of belief.
In Guernsey County, Suzanne Stratford, Fox 8 News.
Put his shirt and his sweatshirt's on inside out, and they've got chemicals on their clothing, Tom. Did you watch this video?
I did not watch this video.
Oh my God, he's been taken over. Yeah, if you watch the video, we'll put it in the. It'll be in the blog. You'll notice. I don't know, the chemicals.
Nothing happened.
I think they were sexually assaulted, Tom. Did the aliens sexually assault them because the clothes are on backwards, upside and inside out, and they got stains all over their clothing in strange areas? Alien? Anything?
No such thing.
Go watch the video because he shows pictures and it's it's interesting. I think they may have been probed.
We do not probe. Oops.
Go watch it. It's pretty funny. But why is this story on Fox 8? This is from 2014. It's like 12
is it from 2014?
Well, the story isn't, but the what happened to the guys is from 2014.
Really? Oh, because they didn't say anything.
They just the first person they think of calling after they couldn't remember what happened for 3.5 hours was the alien people.
Well, yeah, but they didn't give their names or anything.
No.
So it is weird. Yeah, they weren't. It sounds like they weren't really looking for any publicity from this.
No, they definitely did not want their names published. Like, no thanks. I don't want anybody knowing.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes you kind of raise your eyebrow.
Yeah,
or it's somebody from MUFON that just did it.
Could be.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the pictures of clothing they had were quite telling. Quite telling. I think they were abused in some way by aliens. I'm thinking for sure. Or by some MUFON people. I'm not sure. But so middle of the night, all of a sudden he's baiting his hook and then he looks at the one guy looks at his phone and it's been 3.5 hours since he started baiting his hook. It's like, whoa, dude. That would be freaky. Totally freaky. So that's going to change my view of Salt Fork next time I go down there.
Did you ever, have you ever looked at Ohio UFO sightings?
Actually, it
like
has
on YouTube.
No, I don't think so. But in this article or in this news story that I took out, they do mention Ohio as being a hotspot.
There's a ton of things over Lake Erie that people see, like light orbs and stuff. It's kind of it makes you go, "What the heck is that?"
Yeah, I was doing some research at the kitchen table with my laptop, and my daughter was, she can hear the video.
Mm.
She's like, "Well, come on!" And I just looked at her and said, because this usually gets people because even me, when I'm like, "Oh no," but do you think this universe, infinite amounts of universe, and we're the only ones here? She goes, yeah, that would be kind of, I said, it'd be a little bit arrogant to think that we're the only reason for this humongous infinite amount of space. If it is.
We are the aliens, you should have told her.
Yeah, we are.
The moon is a space ship.
Hollow. It's
hollow. It echoes when it's struck by meteors.
It's got a Nazi base inside, I heard. I watched a documentary on it.
I don't know if it's a Nazi base. I think that's where we're from. Mm-hmm.
Oh. I just figured it was Trump's base. It's a Nazi base. Anywho, go check out the story. It's funny.
We are all humanoids at this point.
Yeah. It's like Men in Black. If you blow somebody's head off, it's just this little teeny head underneath.
I got to rewatch that. That was a good movie. I bet it still holds up.
It's been a while, but I would imagine it does still hold up. That was at the time when the CGI was getting pretty good. I bet it still holds up.
Yeah.
Moving along, Tom, we've got final segment of the day.
We bring good things to life.
Line down the show with some good things stories. And this first one,
don't worry, I'll turn them bad things.
No, I don't know about this. Maybe not. This first one. The next one, maybe. But the first one.
No, I don't think it's good.
The first one?
Go ahead. Yeah.
That they caught somebody, and
that's great.
Then they're going to make them pay. Not that we're ever going to get it, but they're going to make them pay back $775,000. So this woman, 40 years old.
They gave him 90 days in jail.
Right. Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah. Well,
meanwhile, somebody in I think it was not Lorain County, it could be Lake County, embezzled $470,000, and they got 7 years. So half of what this person, not half, but under $500,000, and they got 7 years, and this person gets 90 days.
Right. I get that. I'm looking at it like, okay, 90 days in jail. Now you get to get out and make some money and pay us back, because otherwise we got to wait 5 years for it.
This one's not going to pay anything back.
I think a court ordered that they're going to dock your pay.
Okay. You say, well, okay, well, we'll wait 50 years for that.
Sure.
This one's not making a lot of money.
Is the other person paying it back, or is it just they just spend time in jail?
I don't know. I just saw how much jail time they got.
Yeah. I'd rather than pay it back. I'd like to do both, really, but kind of can't force them to pay it back.
How much can they skim off the paycheck?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Probably not a lot. I'm not saying we're going to get all of it back, but I don't know.
I'm glad this person got busted.
Yeah. That's the good news, Tom. Can you see the silver lining in the story, please?
But it's 90 days for $775,000 of Medicaid fraud. So to me, that tells me, if you do Medicaid fraud, you don't get busted that bad.
So she was taking care of 12 people or something like that. Yeah, 12 Medicaid recipients in the Cleveland area, home health aides. That she was, and according to the laws, or according to the court, that no, she really wasn't. It was brazen fraud. Yeah. And basically, this is what we cover this a lot. They're going to send in billings to Medicare, Medicaid, for example, while the person's out of state in Florida for 3 months.
And I got to say, this had to be the low hanging fruit too.
Yeah.
Because it was brazen. I mean, literally, she was doing so much that you couldn't turn your head.
Yeah, but I remember some of the stories we were seeing that there was even, the totals were even more. So I think we're going to see more, because I remember there were quite a few people that, was it Yost? Yeah, Dave Yost pointed out that they caught a bunch of people, and some of them were in the millions.
I think there was only a couple of them. I think there was a whole bunch in the 15 to 20,000, range.
Yeah, just making a couple of 20, 30 extra grand a year.
Oh, I guess if you took 20 grand a year or 20 grand over a couple of years, that they're going to pay
probation.
you.
You get probation. You get probation.
I still think you should. That if she took 20,000 and got 90 days in jail, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool. But 775. Come on.
So why is it? That's a lot of times why they put mandated sentences on some of these things. But this is left up to the judge, and this judge, I guess, decided 90 days was good enough. But I do like your point. It should have been harsher.
A little bit harsher, at least a couple of years.
I like to make them sell off all their assets and rent an apartment in the hood.
This one, well, I don't know what she did with her money. I mean, if she bought a big house, then okay, take that house back. But when I looked her up, she doesn't look like she was making a lot of money besides
they do it for drugs.
Stealing.
They do it for drugs. If you can't prove that you paid for this stuff with regular money, not drug money, they take it.
Okay.
I'm kind of up for that.
I'm just kind of curious what kind of house she has and stuff. Yeah. I mean, if her house is worth 300 grand, there's
it didn't say
a good chunk.
Over how long she did this 775,000.
Yeah, that's true. I would have to
even 4 or 5 years, you're still talking tens of thousands of dollars a year. So yay, a little bit of yays. Just a distant one.
A little
just a little one.
A little muted.
Just in the background there. Next one. Okay. Crap on this one, Tom. The last car show at the IX Center. Now, this happens to be a native ad for Buick. And Fox 8 I think they did one like every day of the week for different manufacturers.
Okay. That's what I was wondering about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw 2 or 3 other ones that are talking about Honda or Ford or a couple other manufacturers. But really just a placeholder to talk about, hey, check out the car show. It's the last week of the car show starting this last weekend, as you hear this. And go check it out because it's the last one at the IX Center. And it'll be it. I don't know where it's going to after that. But IX Center is becoming a data center, or some Fortune 100 company bought it. So it's got to be Amazon or Google. And it's going to be a data center probably. And no more car shows. The last show of the year will be the Piston Power Show in a couple weeks.
Is that kind of like the old Autorama?
Yeah. Where you bring your old cars and so I think that's the last show there, and then they're closing it up and going to refit it to put a bunch of computers in there. I did watch a little bit on the history of the IX Center. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, check out the car show. I think we're trying to go there this weekend and one last time and check the place out and check out some new cars, I guess. Not sure why, because they're way too expensive and they're all plastic.
I looked up the cars that they're showcasing here in this article, and I was like, ugh.
Oh, the Buicks?
Well, that Buick Encore GX that they're kind of saying was a big hit at the show. And I looked it up, and it's a car I see on the street. My wife's going to be looking for a car in a couple of years, probably. Well, she has to find a job.
Yeah.
But it's a sharp looking car. This little Encore, it's like a little SUV looking thing. A crossover or whatever you want to call it. But then I looked into it. It's like a 3-cylinder, like a 1.2 3-cylinder turbo. And I'm like, nah. And then they're also showcasing the GMC Sierra. GMC the Canyon. Well, they got the super heavy, the heavy duty.
The new
but
Canyon,
I looked up the Sierra heavy duty, and you're talking $100,000 for the truck.
Yep.
And then I looked into the Canyon AT4X, which is a mid-size truck. And those are starting, well, I don't know what they're starting at, but I kind of took a quick look at a couple of models, and you're talking 60, 65 for mid-size.
The AT4X is like the upgraded off-road package one.
It's a sharp-looking truck.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's...
But they probably start at 50, 45.
Then Yeah, I would have to say they start at least 50, 55. Mm-hmm. And then I went on the Ford website just to see if I could build a XLT real quick. And the one I built was like 55. So if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I'm going to go with the XLT.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Why? I mean, some people want the smaller footprint, you know, in that kind of a truck. But if you're spending that kind of money, I looked at it. I was like, why would anybody? Well,
the only reason I would go with the mid-sized truck is to save a few bucks. I don't mind the mid-sized trucks. I mean, I'd rather have the big truck. But if it comes down to the dollar, if it could tow a certain enough for me, then I would just go with the mid-sized truck. But at 65, I'm not. So the couple of Rangers I've driven, even those, I'm like, for a few bucks more, I can just get a nicely equipped XLT full size.
Yeah, honestly, they're way more comfortable for me.
Yeah, well, they are.
They're wider.
You're taller and everything. You're bigger, but I would still prefer a large truck.
Fat? You just call me fat.
I said larger. That means wider and taller.
Not fat, but big boned. That's what you're saying.
I'm big boned.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying about the 3-cylinders because I rent cars, and a lot of times when you rent these crossovers, that's all you get.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they give you.
Holy crap, man! Because the horsepower was at 135. I think if you went up to the 1.3 turbo, it was 155, and that's low, man.
Oh, it's low.
Yeah.
Especially like we get some of them are all-wheel drive, and it's just
Jesus, that has to struggle.
Your sister's van has 300 horsepower.
I know. I know.
And it's all-wheel drive, and it feels even a little sluggish compared to your dad has the same one, right? So his feels snappier because of that. He's 2-wheel drive to all-wheel drive. So now you take half the power away, and you've got a dog.
Yeah, it's.
And then if you go on Ford's site, look at the Broncos, the Explorers, for example. And I went on Chevy at the Blazer too, is similar. And your sister's looking to buy a new car, possibly. She's always looking, but when it comes down to the price, she always backs off.
Yeah.
She's very frugal in that way, which is great. But she, if she's going to buy something, I don't want that 3-cylinder. I want something with some balls.
Are you saying balls. Explorers come with the 3-cylinder?
No.
Or the Escape?
No, 4 cylinders.
Oh, yeah. Well, 4-cylinder, they're all going to the turbo thing. That's because of government regulations. But you're putting so much strain on that not the drivetrain, but the valves and everything like that. It's just ridiculous.
They offer a 6. They offer the EcoBoost, the 2.7s.
It's still turbo, though. It's still adding. I'd rather have a naturally aspirated 6-cylinder.
Well, in most cases, it's not even an option. So
I know now. I mean, I think Nissan still in their Frontier truck. They're one of the last ones to offer a naturally aspirated 6-cylinder making 300 horsepower or thereabouts for a mid-sized truck. That's pretty good.
But even to get that extra muscle in that 2.7, the turbocharged 2.7 6 V6, you have to go to the top package. It's the only way to get it. You can't take a mid-size one and upgrade. No, they don't even give you an option on Ford's side.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know about other ones. I know Ford has, since I looked at when I bought mine, that they really streamlined their website and just took. It was so many options. It was so hard to pick.
I'll tell you what. I drove a Ranger with the 4. With the turbo, and it was snappy enough. My next truck, I want it to be my last truck, and I want naturally aspirated. I don't want turbo, so I think I'm leaning towards an 8-cylinder Ford, or I got to look into the.
Who else has it? An 8-cylinder? Does Dodge have one?
Dodge, and I think Chevy still offers a.
In a half-ton? You sure? I thought
I'm not sure. No,
I thought Toyota and Chevy got rid of their 6.
Toyota did. I'm not sure if Chevy did.
I have to look at it. Yeah,
it could be. The only reason I'm saying they would offer it if can you get a half-ton and put a plow on? Do they offer one that you could put a plow on? Because they do offer an F-150 where you could put a plow on. That's an 8-cylinder.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm wondering if Chevy just kind of offers one as kind of a special order or something.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Definitely get away from it. So
I'm just like, I just don't want to have a turbo for a car that I plan on keeping for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And even, I know Chevy does have it, but they have that valve or cylinder deactivation, which.
Yeah. You could turn that off though.
I had a customer that's already had it fixed twice.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just too much crap involved. They've tried it so many times, and I guess they got it working now, but still, it's just something else to break, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And Dodge does not even, I don't know if Dodge has like a hybrid option for their V8, which is lame.
Okay.
It's kind of like as lame as the Ford hybrid option. It doesn't really give you much.
Is it bad? It
doesn't give you, it's not like the Ford, at least the Ford one I'm pretty familiar with, it doesn't give you much. It'll give you more gas mileage if you're doing a lot of city driving, because that initial start and stop is on the battery. But it's not like you can't even turn off the engine and just drive on the battery. It's just not. It's not like that kind of thing. So, but if you look at the gas mileage rates, they're identical to the V8 and the 2.7 and the 3.5. It doesn't go up by any significant amount.
With Dodge, I might look at the Duramax or whatever they offer in diesel.
Now, the advantage to the Ford EcoBoost, or no, Power Boost, I think it's called, which is the hybrid one, is if you get the upgraded one, you could power your house. You have a 30 amp outlet on the back. You could plug it in your house and power your house for a couple of days or a day or whatever. It depends on whether I do have another customer that has one of those. He said, yeah, when we had no power, he's like, I didn't even think of it, and all of a sudden dawned on me. I plugged it in and plugged everything into my truck and ran it in the house.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Full tank, you can run it for 30 hours.
Dodge still offers a Hemi for trucks.
Yep. Okay.
5.7 Hemi.
Yeah. I knew Dodge. I was wondering. I know Toyota, I think, has gotten away from the V8. I think. And
Toyota got rid of the V8 and just offers the 6-cylinder. A lot of that
had big
PO'd a lot of people off, man.
They had big problems with it.
Yeah, they did. I don't know if they still do in the beginning, but that ticked off a lot of people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't even know if it's about the power. It's more about longevity. You have a truck that can go 300,000 without even tune-up.
You did. Not anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, go check out the auto show and, yell at the Chevy guys for not, or whoever, Toyota guys for not having a V8. I mean, be nice.
No, Chevy does actually still offer one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. My cousin has one. He gets pretty decent gas mileage on his V8. The cylinder deactivation part.
Yep.
But Dodge doesn't do that. They don't think they do that, but I don't know.
Not with the Hemi, no.
Yeah. That's okay. I'll still beat them off the line.
Probably, yeah.
Most times, yes. All right, that kind of wraps us up. That's the end. That's the last one. Go look at the IX Center. Go there one more time. See it. Otherwise, who knows when the next time we'll be in there. And thank you for listening. Send us your shenanigans. If you see anything in your area, send it over to us. Crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Don't forget the blog. Every Monday, when the show is dropped, you can check it out and follow along as you go through the show if you're so able to. We really appreciate listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Peace.